Christians have long been wary of the mainstream media, and for good reason. The motivations behind the stories and programming presented by major news outlets and entertainment companies are often at odds with the values and principles of the Christian faith. This distrust is not unfounded, as the mainstream media has a history of promoting a secular, liberal agenda that frequently clashes with Christian teachings. One of the primary reasons Christians cannot trust the motivations of the mainstream media is the blatant bias that permeates many news reports and programs. Major news networks such as CNN, NBC, and CBS have been accused of having a liberal slant, with many of the anchors and reporters openly promoting progressive ideologies. This bias is often evident in the way stories are presented, with certain topics and viewpoints being given more attention and airtime than others. For example, stories about abortion, LGBTQ+ issues, and climate change are often presented in a way that is favorable to the liberal perspective, while conservative or Christian viewpoints are downplayed or ridiculed. Furthermore, the mainstream media has a history of actively working to undermine Christian values and institutions. The media often portrays Christians as intolerant, bigoted, and out of touch with modern society. This negative portrayal is not only unfair but also serves to further marginalize Christians and erode their influence in the public sphere. The media's portrayal of Christians is often based on stereotypes and caricatures, rather than a genuine understanding of the faith and its adherents. This kind of biased reporting can be damaging, as it reinforces negative attitudes towards Christians and contributes to a culture of hostility and intolerance. Another reason Christians cannot trust the mainstream media is the lack of transparency and accountability in the industry. Many major news outlets and entertainment companies are owned by large conglomerates with significant financial interests and agendas. These corporations often have a vested interest in promoting certain ideologies or viewpoints, and may use their media outlets to shape public opinion and influence policy. This can result in biased reporting, propaganda, and even outright dishonesty. For example, the media's coverage of the COVID-19 pandemic has been marked by numerous instances of misinformation and manipulation, with certain outlets promoting fear and panic in order to advance their own agendas. In addition, the mainstream media has a tendency to sensationalize and exploit certain topics, often at the expense of Christians and other conservative groups. For example, the media's coverage of Christian controversies, such as the Catholic Church's handling of sexual abuse allegations, is often disproportionate and one-sided. While these issues are certainly serious and deserving of attention, the media's treatment of them can be overly dramatic and accusatory, with little effort to provide context or bounds. This kind of sensationalism can be damaging, as it reinforces negative stereotypes and perpetuates a culture of suspicion and mistrust. Finally, the mainstream media's increasing reliance on digital platforms and social media has created new challenges for Christians. The spread of misinformation and disinformation on these platforms is a significant problem, with many outlets and individuals using social media to promote false or misleading information. This can be particularly damaging for Christians, who are often the target of online harassment and bullying. The media's failure to adequately address these issues and its willingness to perpetuate false or misleading information further erodes trust and confidence in the mainstream media. In conclusion, the mainstream media's motivations are often at odds with the values and principles of the Christian faith. The bias, lack of transparency, and sensationalism that pervade the industry make it difficult for Christians to trust the information and entertainment they consume. As a result, Christians must be discerning and critical in their consumption of media, seeking out alternative sources of information and entertainment that align with their values and principles. By doing so, they can promote a more balanced and nuanced understanding of the world, and help to counter the negative influences of the mainstream media. Ultimately, it is up to Christians to be vigilant and proactive in promoting truth, accuracy, and fairness in the media, and to support outlets and individuals that share their values and commitment to integrity.